G'day fiends, Andy here for GSR. If you play golf in a golf simulator and you're like, what do all these numbers mean? We are here to help today. Let's hit a few shots and break down what the numbers actually mean and how they can be of use to you. But before we do that, there's a couple of principles you really need to know. These are called the 5 ball flight principles. I think that's the official term, but anyway, they are
your swing path, the path that your club is on, how much you hit down on the ball, how fast you move the club head, where your face is pointing at impact,
and finally, probably the most important one is the centeredness of strike. Do you strike it out of here, 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 or bang, smack in the middle? All of those factors are actually captured in a micro millisecond, which is amazing, by the simulator, and then all that data is spat out onto the screen. Anyway, let's hit a couple of bombs. Take that, I'll use that on the course. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, it's a bit spinny. Oh, we go, smash that. Oh, that's almost come back and hit me. Oh yeah, I've hit that well. Oh yeah, that's juicy. Juicy, juicy. All right, so here are the averages of the shots that I just hit. So, ball speed, really happy with that, 170 mile an hour. I'll take that, especially because my club head speed's actually down a little bit. I'm normally, when I'm warmed up, about 115, 116, and maybe a little bit more if I'm really going at it. Now, this number is really key if you're in a simulator, efficiency. Some systems call it smash factor. The way to think about that is, think of this as an investment. You're spending this much club head speed and you're getting this much ball speed in return. And that number there is a rating of how well your investment is going. So how well am I turning this club head speed into that ball speed? So anything over 1.4 with a driver means you're pretty well optimized and you're quite efficient in the way you transfer energy into the ball. 1.5, I will really take that. That's like, I'm not normally there. Normally, it's like 1.45 if I'm lucky. So now swing path, it's basically fine. When you're looking at a simulator, if you're sort of 5 degrees either side, so 5 degrees out to in or 5 degrees into out, that's when it starts being a problem. Under 5, you can play with that, in general, of course. So you kind of want to make sure you're in that sort of 5 degrees range. And my club face here, basically square, so we'll take that. And this bit with driver is absolutely key. With driver, you want to hit up on the golf ball. I don't hit up on it a lot, but you can see I'm actually hitting 2 degrees up, which is fine. That means you're launching it up into the air. And then you've heard this term before, probably launch angle. With driver, you want that to be like 11, 12, 13 degrees. Somewhere in there is kind of a safe zone for the every golfer. And your backspin, an optimized driver is going to be somewhere between sort of 2,000, 2,500. When we start getting up over 3,000, that's where things start getting quite spinny and you start getting punished into the wind. And when you get under 2,000, you're going to have to launch it really high to ensure that it doesn't just fall out of the sky.
There are some other numbers like side angle, spin axis. I don't worry too much about those. The two here I pay attention to are descent angle and peak height. So peak height is literally the peak of the ball's height. Today I'm at 35 meters with these balls, and that's on the higher side. I'd prefer to be at about 30. And that peak height then creates a descent angle down to the ground, which is a bit steeper because the ball's up higher. But you can see this is a bit of a marriage. I am getting away with it because the spin is pretty much optimum. Now, it is fun pulling this all apart, but it is important to remember.
Just because you may have your ball flight optimized, it doesn't mean you're actually a good golfer, because, well, someone said to me once, would you prefer to hit really good shots or have really good scores? Because those tend to be actually different things. That's when you see someone hitting it really bad, but they beat you off the stick. Yeah, this stuff is useful, but it's only a tool. And one of the questions I hear often is, hey Andy, what should my numbers be? Well, should isn't really the word I like. I think a healthy way to digest this is use this to understand what you do and use it to enhance your enjoyment of the game. As soon as you start chasing numbers to the detriment of your overall game, that's when you're in trouble, and you know, you'll probably get worse. So I want to keep that in mind. I hope this was of use. We'll see you next time here on GSR. If you found value, please subscribe, because that's the only way I can keep doing this, to be honest. That's me being very honest. See you next time.